Hey everybody, welcome to Seany and Sal Shoot the Shit. This is an emergency meeting, baby. Sal, what's going on, man? So many things have gone on in the past 2 months.
Is that how long it's been since we recorded one?
It's been at least a month and a half, Sal, at
I
least.
remember it was after the Rangers lost. Was it game two? Maybe either game one or game two against the Devils. So that
Yeah,
or it could have been game one or game two because the Rangers were on the road. It was game three. Rangers lost game three. It was a Saturday night. I have no idea what month. Could it have been May? I
it
guess.
was May. Yeah, it was May. So
Or April.
May, April, yeah, April, May, June, July. So it's literally almost 2 months.
July, August, April, May.
So what's going on, Sally? How you been?
Good, bro. How are you?
Good, man. I'm doing good. It's been a wild months, a couple months. Hey Chris, what's up, brother?
Yeah.
Hey, my bad.
It's
You
all
shoot,
right. It's all right. Go ahead,
you
shut your
shooting
thing
any
off and we'll
more?
keep going.
You're shooting any more real estate?
Yeah, man. I got a couple more in the works. The promos, I've been working on those and just that's it really. Working, family, a lot of my son graduated from 5th grade. Uh yeah,
Congratulations.
my daughter's
Yeah.
gonna be a junior in high school now. It's crazy. How you been, Sally? Congratulations on the big promotion, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I mean, I got a couple more overnights left this week, and then that's it. Then I'll be on days, so I can't wait. It's life changing. So I
Yep.
have to figure schedule. You and I have talked about, potentially moving. I got to get on that this week. I have not had legit time to breathe with all this stuff, which has been great, but I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything, which
Yeah,
is why I
no.
was
Yeah.
or why I was so annoyed yesterday, wasting time dicking around on Facebook with stupid shit that I don't even care about.
Yep.
So it's just so annoying. But anyway, yeah, it's been we talked a little bit, but it's been
Yeah.
exciting, and I'm looking forward to to the challenge.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I had this isn't gonna be like an hour episode, guys. We're gonna do it for like 30 minutes. But I have some stuff that we could go talk about. I know everybody wants to hear about what happened with Zombie and stuff like that, but I was thinking let's talk about your everything that happened from like we have like so much has happened. I mean, I went to Hog to see to try to
Oh
and
yeah,
and Steph reacted like crazy when I
it
went
was great.
there.
The best was the shot of you getting out of the car.
Oh
That's
yes,
one,
yes.
and then number two, her reaction. Her
Bro,
reaction.
I
Yeah,
didn't. I'm gonna tell this story because I think people need to hear it. So I literally, I'm driving. I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go to this show just to see Matt and Steph, and it's 20 minutes away or whatever. Whatever. So I go. I never do things like that. Like I never spontaneously just go like that. But it was
right.
20 minutes away, and I'm like, fuck it. It's a Friday night. I'm just gonna go. So I go. I get there around like 9:50 ish, and the show was supposed to end at 10:30. So I'm like, cool. I'll make it for the last match. I'll see Steph and Matt and I'll leave. Like I don't want to watch the whole thing. Like I don't know. I don't care about, like these other wrestlers. Like they don't like it's just I'm not sitting there the whole time. So I'm in there and I get there. I pull up. I'm looking for a spot right in front of the place, Sal. Right in front of the place on a
Yeah.
busy Queen Street. There's a wide open spot. I see a ton of people outside. So obviously it's intermission. I pull up and I hear, "Hey, Shawnee," and it's these two major marks. Danny Blanco, who's a photographer, and I can't think of the other guy's name right now, and I hate that I can't remember it. But he is also awesome, and he's a ref.
Do
Uh,
you do you think that's because you smoke a lot of weed?
no, I just think I meet a lot of people when I'm
No.
out,
I, yeah.
But like so anyway, I had a cigarette in my mouth and I pull up, I get out, and I'm like tucking up my pants because I literally just threw my pants on. Like you have
Yeah.
no idea, right? So I had basketball shorts on under, so I wasn't worried about my button, and my zipper. So as I'm getting out, I'm pulling up my pants and I'm fixing my zipper, but he happened to catch me before. So you see my zipper's wide open.
Oh my!
I got a cigarette in my mouth. It looks like I'm NWO 98. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't notice that. It looked like a badass picture. I didn't notice the zipper was open.
Yeah, and somebody, my Major Mark Pete, he put like the censored across it. It was so funny, bro. It was so funny. But anyway, I go in, I go and I get, I'm there. The show happens. I see a couple Major Marks. I'm on the left side of the stage. So they're coming out. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I make it like funny, So I'm like, I'm just gonna say, let's go, Maddie. And if they hear me, they hear me. So I'm like, let's go, Maddie, let's go, Maddie. All of a sudden, Steph's face turned. She like stared at me, and like it took like less than a second. And she's like, oh my, she just starts pointing at
It
me
was
and
great.
laughing. She's like,
Her reaction was great.
and then it like took a second, and she's like, fuck you. Because it took her out of character. You know what I mean? Like, so she's like, fuck you. And then that's it. They left after, so I didn't get to get like a real pic with her, and Matt, but it was cool. It was really cool,
No, that was, she popped for you. You're supposed to pop for her, but she
yeah,
popped for you.
it was really cool. I have to say, with all the messing around I do, that was like one of my top moments in the group so far, for sure.
You're over, dude. I told you that a while ago.
Yeah, no, it's just like, man, it's cool. It's just nice to make people feel good, like to make people
Right.
smile. That's why, like, when this
Agreed. That's, yeah, no, I loved it yesterday. I felt like I made a lot of people smile with my post yesterday.
So that's what we're gonna get into, right? And I just I can't for the life of me understand like how anybody can defend what happened yesterday. You know what I mean? I just can't do it. Like, whether you're my friend or not, like, if you were a neutral person in the Major Mark group and this happened to them, I would feel the same exact way as I do now.
I honestly find it funny, but then it became frustrating. And once I get frustrated with something like that, where you're like, people are going to disagree with whatever, but this was not me asking people to agree with me. I don't give a shit about that. What it was me dealing with a toy company that refused to sell me toys because they were upset that I was poking fun at their issue. It's not my issue. I'm not the one. Hey, I did $13,000 of sales since March. Every single customer that bought something has the product in hand and is not complaining. And I'm not in the sales business. So I delivered when I sold something. He did not. So I'm not allowed to joke and bust balls, which is all that anybody does in the group. Like, it's a known thing. We joke around. You and I bust balls all the time.
All
Matt
the time,
does it.
yeah.
Everybody does it. So Zombie can't have his balls busted. And I admit it was 3 or 4 times. But when I saw him post something like saying, who's your money on for the big reveal? I'm thinking, my money's tied up in Series 2. When is that going to be revealed? When is that coming in hand? And for the record, Zombie then DMs me and he says, I've seen you, this is multiple times. Matt said the same thing, like multiple times that I left messages. Well, then how come you didn't respond to one of them? You know that I'm friends with the boys. You should know who I am in the group. And that doesn't even matter anyway, but I'm asking specific questions. Clearly, and the reason why I referenced that is because Matt referenced it. He referenced it that he knew I'm friends with the boys, so whatever, he's being courteous. Well, then why wouldn't you just respond when I ask you, when is it coming out? Is that unrealistic for me to ask? I'm confused at that. So by me joking around with him, he's sensitive to it, which I get. I knew it was going to happen. And he didn't like it. And he tried to take a little shot at me and the money stuff, which is always his go-to. I know him without even knowing him. That's his go-to. Zombie thinks he's better than everybody else because he has however much money he has, which I don't give a fuck about. I don't care. I don't look at anybody that doesn't have money any less than. That's a horrible way to judge people. So
I
that's
love
number
people
one.
who I'm not interrupting you, but I love people who think that everything is around money. Guess what?
Yeah.
If I one like this is what I spoke to you about. I said, you want to go toe to toe with money? I could do that with you all day, motherfucker. Like I can, but I don't, because that's not the game that I play in life. My currency is happiness, and that is the best way to be. I don't care if you made money. I'll put
It's
my
just
W-2 against anybody's, but
it's just something that's so lame, Shawnee. Like I don't even like
it
you say.
is.
I
I
don't even.
know,
It's
but
irrelevant.
it's just
It's
like I get it. I get it, Sal, but it's like so frustrating when people hide because they have insecurities on whatever it may be,
right.
hide behind money as a shield.
Right.
And that
So I
to
get
me
it.
is
Right.
frustrating.
So because I was poking the bear about the delay, the lengthy delay, when he continued to just say, "Oh, Series 3, this new thing, that, whatever," I'm poking the bear about it. He gets sensitive to it. I get it, frustrated. Instead of coming to me and say, "Yo, dude, here's when it's coming out. Relax. I mean, enough is enough." All right, fine, whatever. You're right. Maybe I took it a little too far. I'm sorry. Sorry for the joking. I never asked for a refund. I said, if you don't want to sell to me, that's fine. Refund me. I'm gonna be okay. I could handle it.
You never
A,
said
if
refund me. You never said
I
refund
never
me.
said that. I
He
never
was
asked
the
that.
one that chose to refund
Right,
you
which is
because of
fine.
your response,
Right, which is fine. So then I'm like, my initial thing was I thought it was funny how everybody else, Mitch in particular, gets as much shit. And for the record, like I don't care. I'm not Mitch's protector. I didn't buy a figure because I'm not interested in the one that he's selling. I'm rooting for him, whatever, but I don't care. But Mitch gets more shit than anybody in the group. So I'm not allowed, there you go. I'm not allowed to give Zombie some shit. He's above reproach, not in
Yep.
my book. So I call it how it is. He's promised something and has not delivered. End of story. And I've also said 100 times, I told him he's got the best product by far. His figures are by far
How many
the
times
best.
have we spoke about it?
A
I mean,
million, a
like you
million
could go
times.
back into the Sal and Shawnee. I even asked him to be interviewed, and he said no kindly. He was
Right.
very nice
Which is
about
fine.
it.
Who cares? Like, I don't even care.
We
Yeah, and
didn't
you know what
care
I
that he
thought?
didn't come on the show. We didn't
No,
give a
no,
fuck
no, but
about any of that.
no, but Shawnee, he then was like, "Oh, you're just mad at me because I won't come on your show."
No, we weren't mad at him.
Yeah,
I wasn't mad at him.
that's what I'm worried about. I, who have worked, who have dedicated my career, dedicated myself to my career for over 20 years.
Yeah.
I, I'm worried about somebody that nobody's ever fucking heard of in my world not coming on a podcast that I do with you for fun for a few people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what you're right, Zombie. You got me there. But then we fixed that issue. And I said that, dude, this is like nothing personal. Now he wants to start up another thing. And so I felt like I wanted to tell the story. So either A, I tell the story, or B, I just post a couple of pics of the screenshot that is telling the story. Like it wasn't bad. I'm not exposing anything that I wouldn't have said anyway. And then that's an issue. Like people are just so lost. I don't care if you buy from him or not. The fact of the matter is he's sensitive and he lost a customer, and at least two, because you said the same thing, Shawnee.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
he's a businessman. I'm not a businessman, and I'm not selling anything. And if I did, I'd deliver it better than he ever did. What I do, what I chose to do, I'm in the big leagues. I'm at the top of my profession. What are you doing? So you want to go take shots? I mean, let's go, Zombie. You want to do that? Let's go. Nobody's ever heard of you in the real world.
So I have to say, it even it hurts me that like even have to do this, and like people were like, oh, like people are like drama, and like no, nobody wants this drama. Nobody like this shit.
Matt,
Like,
same thing. Like
bro,
Matt, just stop, dude. He's another one. Stop.
We have so much like shit in real life that like we don't need to be worrying about a fucking toy maker like giving a refund out. But the fact is, like, and Matt, I spoke to Cardona about this too. Like he, like he said, like he's like, we don't need another hero. We don't need a hero. Like sometimes, like you don't have to be a hero all the time. But if I don't say anything, I think I'm more of a piece of shit than if I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I see it and I notice somebody getting mistreated, it's my duty to say something. As a man, as a man, it's my
Right.
duty to protect people that I love and that are major marks and that are in the community that I'm in. If I let somebody else get treated that way, what stops him from treating me this way? So when I put a stop to it, and I say, hey, this is what it is, don't delete this because I want people to know what happened. And if you're a businessman, you do not ever infer that a customer that spent $400 on your toys needs money. Like, it's
Right.
crazy. It's crazy that people think he's in the right at all. It's insane. And
And
like,
by the way, Shawnee, it's his right as a company and
I know
seller
it is. He's not
to say,
Walmart. I know people made it
well,
clear.
well,
But
whatever. I'm saying, like, he's allowed to not sell to me if he wants. That's fine. I just think it's funny, and I also think it's bad business. And Matt himself said that he's gone over this repeatedly
he
with
has.
Zombie.
Yes, he
So
has.
clearly, there's an issue here that I've seen from the beginning that I don't like, which is why I do poke the bear with him, because he talks a big game and he doesn't deliver. He's very sensitive. So I can't take a shot at him because he had the thing pre-ordered for however many months and said it was supposed to come in April or May or whenever it was supposed to come, and now we're months late after that. So, like, come on, lighten up, dude. It's not the
See,
end of the world.
my thing is, like, you have a customer that literally supported you by giving you money, right? Like, that is the most support that anybody could give you. Everybody can talk a big game and say, hey, I'll share your post, or I'll do this, I'll do that. But when you talk with money and buy somebody's figure, you're literally supporting that person in their venture to become a toy maker, right? The
Right.
way he started, and I'm not mad at Zombie, I'm disappointed in Josh. That's what I am, because Josh one time sold pins that weren't of wrestlers that he didn't sign, right? But everybody starts somewhere, and I'm not a hater about that, right? I know the wrestlers will probably be mad about that, but I'm not mad about that. I like that he was a hustler. I like that he did that. But don't fucking forget where you come from. And now that you're wealthy, you think you're hot shit and you're going to throw money around the first time somebody gives you a problem. That's when there's an issue. And I know that Josh is better than this. I met him in Orlando. I had a great conversation with him. You know, there has to be better. We as purchasers from a company, I don't care if it's Walmart, I don't care if it's Mitch, I don't care if it's Epic Toys. When we buy something, you should get customer service. And
Right.
that's it.
And by the way, same stuff happened with Cella or whatever, right? Where that thing went under and then it took forever. And I was just like, just refund me with the Haku. It wasn't as bad with
Same
Zombie. And
thing.
like I
Yeah,
said,
same
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
I just didn't want to deal with it. First of all, the product is no good, and I don't want to wait for that. I'm not even complaining about the wait time. What I'm saying is, it's funny to me how talk, 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 promote what's coming next, promote this, and pre-order dates for that, and still haven't delivered the product. The same exact thing that the guys would talk about on the pod regularly about everybody else. Stop promoting stuff. Just get it in hand, get it out. He doesn't do. That's it. So I'm not allowed to joke about that. That's where I'm in the wrong, according to Matt and according to Zombie. All right,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't give a
So
shit.
Sal,
Bye bye.
what made you leave the group? Because I know people have
Because I don't need
noticed.
it. I don't care. I don't need it. It was a thing that I thought was fun years ago. And by the way, I still think it is a great community and good for collectors. You know, we've talked about this in podcast past where I'm moving on
Yeah,
from
it wasn't.
having.
I just want to let people know, like, it wasn't this that made you leave. Like,
No, I was leaning that way anyway. This just put the nail in the coffin where I
yeah,
was just like, do it now. Where, look, first of all, I've had fun with the group, right? It's been great. It was a great thing to show my collection to other people who liked it. Great thing to see other people collecting, meet people like yourself. Obviously, I'm friends with Brian, even before that group, but talking to Dylan in the group, all that stuff. Like, it's fun. You make friends or people that you communicate with regularly and see their stuff and sell stuff. It's great. For me, I'm trying to trim the fat in my
yeah.
life. I have enough time for this stuff, so I'm trying to sell a lot of my collection anyway. And I just don't
That
need to
was
be.
one of my topics too.
Yeah,
Was like, why are we selling? Like, people don't realize, like, we're not like, it becomes like a point where you just get like overwhelmed by it all, you know?
Right.
And that, like, me and Sal, we bonded like over that because we were both at that point of like, holy shit, like this is too much. Like, what are we doing here? You know, like there's there's other ways that we can use our money and be just, you know, even happier. Or, and not that it's a mistake that we collected those items, but like we don't need like every fucking toy that comes out, right? And that's what, like, we still stick to our collecting in our rules, but like we went outside of our rules for a long time.
Well, you
And
just get caught up. I think you get caught up in the. It's a mental game.
for
Collecting.
sure,
Oh, I
super
need that. I need
addicting.
that. I need that.
Yep,
You
yep,
don't. You don't need it. And the more I looked at the amount of shit that I had piled up, I
yep.
was like, "What am I? And what am I doing with this?" Eventually, the end game is going to be what? Selling it. Like I can't. I want to have. It's also overwhelming when you have too much that you're not appreciating what you do have that you love. So there's a part of that as well. It's got to be a balance. But I think I got caught up in it. I started to have everything, and it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I loved it, and I needed it at that time. But it just my mind frame has changed to where I'm okay with not having certain things that I thought that I needed. And it's as simple as that. And then turning that into, liquidating it, turning it into money, that becomes addicting as well. You realize how much money you have in some of this stuff. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned it
and
before, how much you made in what, 5 months or something like
yeah,
that,
like
you know?
I had basically no money in this one savings account, and it just piled up over 3 months. You don't realize, selling the stuff and putting the money back in the
Yep.
bank, whatever. So, I mean, that's a lot. And honestly, Shawnee, if you came over, you wouldn't even notice a difference.
No, you wouldn't even
That's
know the
what's even
dent.
that
Yeah.
you're right. That's what's even scarier is you be like, you sold $13,000 worth of stuff, which
Bro,
is
I've sold like 6,000 worth of stuff or 5,000 worth of stuff in my garage. If you go in there, you wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know.
it's
You
the
would.
mind of the
It's
collector.
crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And listen, I don't regret anything. Like I don't. Like I'm happy that I learned sooner than later, you know? Like I'm happy that I like snapped out of it sooner than later, because you don't, like, there was a point where I was just buying anything because I could, right? And like that's the total, like, people would ask me to buy stuff, and like I'm like, yeah, fuck it, why, I might as well buy it, you know, why not? And like I'm thinking back, and I was never like that before either, so it was so weird to me. But I felt the need, because I didn't have toys as a kid, like a lot of toys, that like I'm getting everything. You know, now I have the money to do so, I'm gonna do it. And
Right.
that like was the worst way to think ever. But yeah, man, I mean, let's talk about some happy stuff too. You know, I saw some great reveals today. Well, I know that the gobbly gooker was revealed with the Undertaker like in
You all
March.
right?
Bro, that's a hard fucking word to say. Gobbly gooker, you know?
Now, do you remember that or no?
Thank you, Chris. Chris says, great discussion here. I have the same thoughts from time to time.
You want, well, I do think it's a healthy one to have. See, and that's one thing too. We live as collectors in these groups where it's always buy, 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 buy. Everybody's selling to you, buy, buy, but I need this, I need that. And you get caught up in it. When you step back and calm yourself down a little bit and realize that you don't need it all. It's cool. You look at it, but then once you get it in hand, sometimes it's the thrill of buying it. And then you get it in hand, and that's cool to have, but then it just sits there. And then you're like, what the hell? So I think it's an important mental or healthy discussion to have about the mentality of collectors and how you can get caught up in it and how unhealthy that can become. And I don't think that there's a market for that right now. At least I haven't seen it. I'm not well versed in all this stuff. Usually I just stick to, most of what I've learned has been from the podcast.
Yep,
So
yep.
if not all of it. Like, I mean, I always had that collector's mind, but I learned through their podcast about how to collect and what to collect. And then it just got out of control. So you just have to make sure, like anything else, any other addiction, it is an addiction.
It
There's no other way
is
around.
for sure. Absolutely. And man, there's so many great things. Like I love this community so much. And that's what it comes down to in the end of the day. Like, you know, like I can't explain it, but like I feel like, and like, that we need to like protect people that are like us. You know what I mean? And like not protect them like, oh, I'm your father, I'll protect you, but like you don't want people getting mistreated, and then that becomes the new norm, because that's what happens is like you teach people how to treat you, you know. It sounds addicted to being a mom. So
That's funny.
Sal, what is the new job gonna look like? Like, do you know anything about it yet, or like?
No, and we don't need to get into that. I mean, I'm still going to be doing the same stuff, just with a partner and during normal hours, which is nice. But I felt that I was at the top of my profession even prior to this. Like,
Yeah,
being on the fan to me means the world. And guess
yeah,
what? I never wanted it because I was like, oh, how much money? I don't care. I loved it, so I chased it,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm fortunate to be in the spot where I am right now. But that's just another lesson on how like money shouldn't rule everything. But dude, you look at with these collections where you mentioned some of the new stuff. I think there is some great stuff coming out.
Some great stuff, man.
That gobbledygooker, or however you say it, and the
Yeah.
Undertaker. I'm mad that I didn't know that it was out. I missed the pre-orders, I guess, on that.
And the cage, they're redoing the cage.
When is that coming out?
They didn't say yet, but I'll get the date for you if I see it. And then the Cody started arriving, the new Cody with the soft goods jacket.
Yeah, I'm not in.
Yeah, I know you're not, but the Logan Paul started arriving. Bro,
Oh, right. And then Bruce Lee, if
Bruce,
you're into that, you can get a nice Bruce Lee figure.
you such a fucking dick.
Poking the bear. If you want a Bruce Lee figure, you can get that. It's scheduled to drop, I think, the third quarter of 2029. And then you should have that in hand, hopefully by the turn of the decade, along with maybe Series 3.
I hate to say it, but you know the fact that got like, man, I'm trying to get off this, but it's like hard. But like the fact that like he posted and like tried to say like he didn't mean that, like how he meant it.
Okay, yeah, right.
Like I was
Whatever.
like, okay, yeah, but
Yeah,
like
right.
I want to move
People,
on. Like I want to
look,
move on. So there's
yeah,
other
no,
stuff
I
to
know.
talk about.
And by the way,
Know?
this is not it's not a rip job on him. I don't know him personally. He's got
Me
excellent
neither.
product. Like I said, the best.
He
Mattel's
does. Yeah, he does. He has the
Mattel,
best toys.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, for that style, the
Oh
retro
yeah,
figures,
yeah. I know. Yeah,
they're
I know.
second to none. They're sick. The one man gang looks sick. Like I said, I don't know when we're gonna actually see it or whatever, but it looks sick. So it's not a knock on him. And you're right, we spent too much time on it already, but we did need to clear some things up where I think
For
people were
sure.
making it's me or me and you versus him. That's not the case at all.
That's why I wanted to do this. Like
It
Matt was
started
like,
from a joke, a one-liner joke, which I thought was funny. What I didn't realize that certain things were off topic. So for that,
so
we bid
so
adieu to the.
so Matt was like, like he posted like commenting back to me, like saying, like now you're posting a hit job, trying to go live in the Facebook, trying to do a hit job. And I never had it in my head as a hit job. I thought, okay, this is a great discussion. People are gonna want to hear it. Let's get some views on the podcast. We'll talk about it. We'll get your side of it. Like I never looked at it as a hit job. And as much as people might want to take what we have been saying as a hit job, it's not. And if you look at it that way, it's wrong, because we're just saying facts. Like these are factual things that happen. Like usually a hit job is a bunch of lies, and you're trying to get people to not buy from him.
You're right, exactly. No.
That's nothing. Like we're still saying his product is great. We've always said, you could go back and look. Even when Mitch was on, we said right in front of Mitch that Zombie's product is better than his.
Yeah, I told it to his face.
We've been saying nothing but great things about Zombie besides his bedside manner.
And by the way, people were saying that I was complaining about.
Oh, they called you a Karen, yeah.
Right, which I don't even know. Like that's so stupid. Come up with something original, please.
That was so funny.
People so
I got so many messages.
Stupid.
Just so everybody knows, like people might not speak out about it on the post, but so many people messaged me that I showed Sal my inbox.
Why mine too? Why are people afraid to say something?
I don't know why they're afraid to speak out. And that's another thing where I feel like I'm I know Billy's here, and I know Billy does a great job modding, but sometimes I feel like I'm the moderator. Like everybody's messaging me with their problems, and like I'm like, of course, being who I am, I always answer. I always answer, and
But
I always talk to people, and and we have
no,
great
funny.
conversations.
It was funny to see the messages and the amount of people that were reaching out in a, instead of replying on the thread, which, by the way, I deleted just because I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I didn't wait for anybody else to take it down, or nobody took it down. I deleted just because I was like,
That's what I wanted
it's
to
not
make
worth
clear
it.
too.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's not
yes.
worth it to me because people misconstrued it for complaining. This did not start with a complaint. It was me joking around at Zombie, poking the bear, sure, because he's given me a reason to poke the bear.
Shut your camera off, Zip.
I never once complained about it. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I make sure you put your camera off, Zip. Thank you, brother. So yeah, I just, like I said, what were we talking about, Sal? What did you
Well,
just
about
say?
me, I was not complaining. I think people
Oh yeah, I saw
misunderstood.
that. So I just want to make everybody know that Billy and them did not delete the post.
Yeah,
Because people were like, did they delete it? And I was like, no, they did not. Sal deleted it because I want to
right.
make that very clear. Because people were like, oh, the boys deleted it. No, they did not. So don't think that. Nobody think that. And I'm saying it loud and clear right now. They did not delete it. They let everything that, as long as it wasn't, disrespectful, they let us
There
say
was
our
nothing wrong with it.
piece. No, I know, but like some comments can be disrespectful, right? And those
right.
gotta go,
Well, people, I'm just saying, people made it. I kept asking some of the people who were, even Matt said that I was being a dick. I'd love to know where exactly I was the dick. So I'm not allowed to joke around, sarcastic. I'm not allowed to poke the bear. That's all that I did wrong. That's what I did. I wasn't complaining. I wasn't being personally attacking anybody. Wasn't being a dick. I was joking around. So that's not allowed, apparently. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I just think like being facetious, and even if you were completely like, even if you did feel the way, obviously you felt that way, right? Even with all those feelings, as an owner, like, wouldn't you want to message somebody and be like, hey, Sal, I'm sorry you feel this way. I know he doesn't have to do this, but it would have looked, it just, as a
right.
customer, you're like, it makes you rethink about being a dick next time. It was
He
someone,
confirmed. He
he confirmed
confirmed.
how you felt
Correct.
about him.
He
Yeah.
confirmed why I felt justified to take those shots at him.
Yes. I
I would,
agree. I agree. I hate to say it, but I definitely agree 100%.
and that's not on me. That's on him. I didn't do anything.
If he would have said, hey, all it took was this message. Hey, Sal, I'm sorry for the delay. Some things are out of my control, which they are. That, I
Right,
know,
of
I
course.
know it things shipped from China. I know Zombie doesn't have control over them.
Right.
So just say what it is. Like, say, hey, and then this is what was the big problem, right? He thinks that you follow him 24/7.
Right.
So
Like, oh, you must not have seen my mess. No, I didn't. I'm
he
sorry.
thought he just insinuates that you saw his post with the update, but you didn't see his post with the update because you don't
Whatever,
have an Instagram.
whatever posts, yeah, right. I didn't at the time. Whatever posts I saw from him, generally I commented on saying, where's series two?
Billy
I would
said
ask
no
you.
post or comments
Yeah.
deleted in any of it.
I
That's what I love. That makes me so. Thank you,
I would,
Billy.
Shawnee, I would ask you where's, because you also was supposed to have a series two variant Andre, which I never got any info about. And then it was just like, oh, well, I guess that's
Yeah,
not
you've
happening.
been
Whatever.
asking me about that forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I cared about three figures in series two, Bundy and the two Andres. And I never got answers from, now maybe that's my fault for not listening to the pod or for not seeing his things. But when I ask in a comment, he never once replied, but he was seeing them apparently.
Some of the questions you had were actually genuine. I think that maybe he thought that you were being facetious because he thinks that you're up on all this stuff because you're in
Right.
the group. So a lot of it could be miscommunication as well. But
Sure. Yeah.
like I
Anyway.
said, I'm just happy that we got to speak about it and that like everybody can see both sides and how it is, and that's it. And that's that. Is there anything else that you want to speak on, Sal?
No. Did you send me what other figures were we talking about? The
We're
ultimate.
talking. Yeah, we were talking about. Oh yeah, about the throwback ones with
Oh, the
um
ring. saying the
Yeah,
gobbledygook
hold on.
Undertaker.
What's the guy's name? Lou something. Uh, the superstars, Captain Lou Albano and
Oh yeah,
Vader.
I'm not into that line. Are you into that line, Sean?
I love that line.
You
That
have them all?
Yeah, not them all, but I have most of them. This is the macho from this line
Yeah, it's sick.
is
I know.
incredible.
There,
I love it.
there are certain figures that I was glad I didn't get in. Like the original retros, I got sucked in because of the boys, right? And then I ended
Yep.
up selling them all off, and now I'm into the retros that kind of fit my, the newer ones that
Your
Mattel has
era,
released.
yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
So I kept, the only one I have, I guess, is like JYD and the Sheik, whatever. But that was one line that I get into. The line I didn't get into, but was tempted, was the Masters of the Universe line. I'm glad I didn't get into that one. This line, what is the name of this? Superstars?
Superstars, yes,
I think
yes.
it's great. Visually, I think it's great.
It's
And
awesome.
part of me, would have gotten in on that. But again, it's too much. And I already have representations of a lot of those figures that I grew up with that are
Yeah.
on the nostalgic. So I'm not knocking that line because I think it's great. But that would be one that was on the fence at. I'm glad in retrospect that I didn't do it because, I just don't need that much more shit. But
Yeah.
that's a great one.
R.I.P. the Shiki baby. I can't believe he passed away.
Yeah.
It's such a
I
man.
sold the figure the day he died. I didn't know that was
Oh,
frowned upon.
yo, I swear to God, I texted you right away. I'm like, what the? I wrote what, and this is a shoot, Hoot. I wrote this out right away. What the fuck are you doing?
I didn't realize I got kicked out of one group because you can't post a figure of somebody. Like, I mean, well, come on. I've been trying to, it's not like I all of a sudden went into my basement and dug the figure out and was
Yeah,
like, let me maximize my value. Matter of
yeah.
fact, I lost money on that, but I thought it was a timely thing to pay homage and see if the thing could move. And it did. I sold it immediately.
The look on your face is like fucking priceless right now. I see. I would never do that, and I told you like, hey, like that's what it is, But I listen. It is what it is. Everybody's different. We all have different things.
What I think is, like bad about that or dirty about that is if somebody jacks up the price.
That's correct. That's
which I did
correct.
not do. Like if you
That's true.
if
That's
you were
true.
either selling something or weren't going to sell it, and then you do on the day that the wrestler dies and you jack it up 10 times of what it's worth.
That happened with Razor with Scott
Yeah.
Hall. I was around the time Scott Hall had passed. We were in WrestleCon for the live show around WrestleMania, and there was these booths selling autographs. So I go over and I look over at a Scott Hall autograph. Normally they're like 150, 200. It was $500.
Yeah, that's
and
what
I'm
I mean.
like,
Yeah,
you're right.
that's wrong.
You're right. That is the part of it. I don't mind the selling of anything, but you're right. Once you boost up the price, that's where there's the issue that comes in.
I could see if people were like, okay, you're asking $500 for a figure that's $250 or $200.
Yes.
I did not do that. I sold it, if anything, less than the actual value.
Yeah, because people are gonna buy the figures when somebody dies. They're gonna get it from either eBay or whatever. So why not?
Right,
why not
way
you sell it?
I'm helping them out. Somebody's going to want that figure right now. Let me throw it out there. So
I get it for sure. You're 100% right. I just like combine the two in my head with the overpricing and the selling.
Yeah, I get
so it. That's why I looked at it bad, but you're 100% right. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I did you see the big rubber guys that the boys put out?
Love them. Now, my question is the Marty Jannetty. Do we have?
Yeah,
like, is it
no,
a rocker tag set?
Matt said, Billy, do you know about the Marty Jannetty? So I heard Matt say that Marty Jannetty, he's gonna be in a pose like that they can't replicate it again. So they're gonna have to, if they do another one of him, they have to do a whole new mold. I think he is in the Rockers stuff. I'm not sure.
Yeah, the one that I saw. What are they going to do? Like
it was like green and something. I don't know. I'm not. I don't remember that time.
I will tell you. I like the hacksaw bendy that they released, and
yes,
I like
the demolition big guys, the big rubber guys.
They look great.
They look insane.
Are you in on that or what?
So I'm not in on the big because I wasn't in on LJNs.
Right.
Billy, what gear is Marty wearing on the big rubber guys? Do you know?
And I want to know if they're coming out with Shawn Michaels as well. Because why
No,
did I buy one rocker and not two?
because isn't there already a Shawn Michaels?
No, not for LJN. No.
So I'm not sure. I'm not like familiar with that time frame of the.
Right.
Oh, it's from a wrestle. Thank you, Billy.
Right.
It's from a WrestleMania match. Okay.
Right. I believe WrestleMania 6 match.
Got it. Got it. So yeah. So then that makes more sense. Then it's not. So
They,
that's what. Because you're right. If they
the
made
Twin
it as,
Towers.
if it means that
No,
they
Shawn, they
they
can't. Okay,
can't.
so
Yeah. Matt
he
said he
wants,
wants to repaint Marty with blonde hair so you can have a Shawn. Oh, that's smart. That's fucking smart. I love that. I see. That's the shit. That. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. Because it would
right.
be on. It would be on the edge. Yeah, I get that.
But that,
But
yeah,
it's like same thing doing the referee number 3, and it's John
right.
Cone. You know,
Well,
like
that's what I was thinking. Like, what are they going to do? Put a mask on him? But obviously, that would not be Shawn Michaels. Like, they got to figure out a way.
that's.
Yeah.
I love it. I listen. I love it. I think Demolition looks great. I think the Marty looks great.
I also think they're brilliant for doing this because
I agree.
it's an untapped market. Everybody is
So were
honing it.
the Bendies. So were the Bendies at that
Right.
point.
Well, right. Maybe for me it's a little different because I was not a Bendy's guy, but the retros have got, the Hasbro style retros have gotten
Yep.
played from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Nobody's doing the big rubber guys. It's customs, but
Yep.
they're not making customs. They're making the actual figures. So I think that it's an untapped line where they can have plenty of fun with.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, man, and wrestling has been on fire lately, man. That I know you don't watch the new stuff, but like
Not at all.
AEW had Forbidden Door where they mix with New Japan Wrestling, and there's this guy Will Ospreay, and he's like an Englishman, and he is awesome. Like, I know you don't have much time, so
Never heard of him.
we're gonna wrap this up, but
Never heard.
he is out of his mind, and I love him, and he's such a great wrestler. He's gonna be like one of the next top guys. Like, I have no doubt about it. He's absolutely phenomenal. And that's it. I just want to say thanks everybody for listening and coming on with us.
Cool. Could you tell I was starting to check out because I was looking at my phone?
Yeah, yes. Sal, are we going to be able to do it?
I love you, bro. It's not.
I know you do. I know.
When
It's
you start
okay.
talking about the wrestling stuff, I just zone out.
I know. So, are we going to be able to film any more Shawnee and Sal's, do you think? Or
I honestly do not know. I love doing it with you. I know we haven't done it a lot. Because Shawnee, I told you that. Like,
I know. I know everything. So
right, yeah, we don't need to explain it, but like you knew
yeah.
that I needed to like focus here and figure out how I was going to get through the last however many months it's been.
I just want you to explain to everybody so they know what to expect.
Right. I can't answer that right now. I want you to continue. You got to continue doing something with or without me. That's number one. But
yeah,
I know I'm still open to it. I just got to see contractually what I'm going to be allowed to do elsewhere, and then we need to figure out what time and how we want to do this. I like how we've been doing it. Like, I know we didn't do it once a month exactly, but it feels fun to be able to do that.
Yeah, it feels good to just hook up and then do it for an hour or whatever.
It doesn't have to be. And I also do want to. I was telling my wife about you. She's like, you talk about the Shawnee, you're texting the Shawnee. When is he coming over? Whatever. So I've been telling you about that. And you still have my fucking Hulk Hogan. You saw my gift.
I still have. Yeah, I know. I still have your Christmas presents. I know. I don't even know where they are in my house. I swear to God, it's been so long. No, I have them. I just don't know where.
Well, please bring them to me because I want to sell them as soon as possible. I clearly need the money. Maybe I'll reinvest that $89 or whatever I got back from Zombie in the big rubber guys.
Yeah, do it. I'm all for that. But thank you guys for watching. We love you, and we're out of time, baby.